I don't care.
Party,
Start
man.
right now. All right, we are live. Brand new episode of the Back and Now podcast. It's your host, Akil, and
K to the C. What's up, everybody?
as you know, we are a mixture of hip hop, comic books, nerd culture.
All rolled up into one spectacular show. We talk movies, we talk video games, we talk music, anything ghetto going on around this whole ghetto ass world. You know what I mean? We talk about it. We've got a special guest in the building. Just huge. What's popping,
Hey, I
fam? What's
appreciate it,
popping?
man. I appreciate it, man.
How you
I'm
feeling?
thankful for you guys letting me on here, man. Really
Hey, man,
appreciate that.
we're happy you're on,
Appreciate that,
man.
man. I've seen you on TikTok, and I see that we do similar, content. So I was like, let me bring you on the show because I'm not a
man.
hater.
Of course, man. You got to share the love, man. I respect that.
Because they got some folks out there. Nah, man, screw that nigga, man.
That's the thing I hate about this crab mentality bullshit people got going on the internet, man. It's fuckery.
Man.
It's really messed up.
Man, the reason why I'm on social media, man, is to just, to engage in discourse, man. It's not necessarily about likes.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily about, the opportunities that you get. For me, it's about being a gatekeeper of the culture and media and everything like that. So I love to promote things that I enjoy watching, that I enjoy, that I have interest in.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that nerds, whoever you are, we get visibility, man, because like nobody talks about the black nerds, man. Like we're out here, we are out here. I'm corny. I don't care.
Hey, man, you gotta own your corny. That's what I'm.
So like,
yo, talking to a camera on your phone passionately. There's a bit of corniness in there. There's some elements of corny. You know, you gotta own it.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, man.
So like,
I've been seeing people like losing their minds trying to get to Marvel premieres, and like I seen like there was one girl online just depressed because she's like, "Oh, I didn't get to go to Thor: Love and Thunder." I'm like, "You didn't miss out on nothing." It's not like the movie.
I'm saying.
I was like, a lot of these people, they go to these premieres and they know the movie's whack, but they can't say that right then and there in the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they got to be like, it was fun.
Yeah,
we had a fun time.
They're caught up in the pageantry, the glitz and the glitter, and being around the celebrities. You know what I mean? Getting to shake hands and network with people you may have never thought you could. So that's what impacts them probably the most out of the movie. So when they go do the review, they're so hype still off of that energy. They're just like, yo, it's a 10 out of 10. And then later they look back like,
I'm saying. And then 2 weeks later, movie is garbage.
Yeah, they got him.
Yeah. You walking out of what Thor? What's that? The trash one, the second
Thor
one.
2.
The
original 2.
Man, picture coming out of that movie talking about it was fun.
Dude, I feel like here's the thing about social media, man. Like the social media hype, the hype trains, all that stuff has really impacted the way we see movies. Like people, because it used to be word of mouth, right? Like if your friend liked it, you watched it. But now it's like you have millions of people on social media who can determine what movies you watch. And I think people should really be focused on their own opinions and see films that they enjoy watching because they want to do it. And that's just me. That's just my personal thought process on it. Like people shouldn't care what social media thinks. But at the same time, there are also some movies that I got put onto that I saw on social media and I was like, interesting. That's kind of cool. That's a cool premise. This guy's talking about it. Like those are the moments that are really important. Like if something really piques your interest, you should see it because you want to do it.
Yeah,
and we're because everyone else is.
We are striving. I'm striving to be a critic, so I do want people to save their time and save their money at what they go and watch. So I don't want people wasting time. So that's why I want to get into this thing to be able to navigate like-minded people like myself to go see or don't see. So I do see a poster in your background there, though. So you're into films. That Pulp Fiction. Man. Tell me about that Pulp Fiction poster right there, man.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction. So I actually went to Dallas.
Yeah.
They have like this convention. It's like a movie comic book fandom convention. It's like really big in my area. So like I went there and I saw a bunch of posters. I saw like a bunch of movies that I like to watch,
Yeah.
So first one that came to mind was a Quentin Tarantino movie. So like I had to get it, obviously, because it's Samuel L. Jackson. Like it's come on. Like
that's a classic.
Iconic. Dude,
I saw that in theaters.
Really?
Yeah. They opened up a movie theater by me and you just had to give cans or whatever, but I was way underage. went and saw that movie. That was
You
I needed
donated
therapy
hands?
after that ball in the mouth part.
bro. Here's the thing about Quentin Tarantino. He has no chill.
None.
And I feel like the 90s movies back then, they were a lot more creative. Like they definitely pushed boundaries. Like now we're kind of in this moment where it was like mostly into franchises, and I feel like the 80s was like that too. But like with Quentin Tarantino and all those newer guys, they were coming up. They were like the new guys on the block. Like
Yeah.
when Quentin came out, Miramax was the A24 of that time.
Yeah.
Like they basically turned that independent film industry into what it is now. So like I feel like there's trends in media. In the 90s was rebellious. That was just what they did.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't care about, you know, not necessarily like the politically correct culture, but just they didn't necessarily care what people thought, man. And they just did what they wanted to. It was the creative ability of the directors. I feel like it was a lot better.
Yeah.
And they cared more or less about the art rather than trying to please, you know, these big name brands, obviously like Marvel and, you know, MGM and all these big studios. So I think, yeah, man, just like independent film, I think is the most interesting to me.
Yeah, I think there was a lot more money back then to just throw at the wall and see what happens and let the artists just be artists. You know what I mean? So like now it's like you got to be very safe with how you put out your product.
Absolutely.
It's very pop starry, pop music-ish now. But then it was more like, yeah, you want $400,000? Go do your thing. Go shoot your shot. You know, but you know now it's a little different. But
oh, for sure.
Yeah,
like
we still got
I don't think
artsy movies now.
Agreed. Like I don't think Pulp Fiction couldn't come out today.
No,
like they wouldn't take that type of liberty to create something new like that. Like it would have to be, you know, a part of a franchise. It would have to be something that we've seen before. And I think a lot of studios are really trying to cash in on their IP, and that's why we're getting Creed. That's why we're getting, you know, all these other films that are associated with stuff that we seen 20 years ago when we were younger. Like,
oh yeah, even Scarface was a remake. So we're a generation of remakes.
Exactly.
You know
like,
what I mean?
And people don't know that. People forget that
mind blowing.
Scarface, right? The original one, I think the original one was about like an Italian dude. It was like 1930 something or something like
New
that.
York or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But like Black that's a reboot.
Yeah.
And Hollywood loves reboots.
Yeah. It's McDonald's.
So Just Huge, I want to talk about your TikTok, your impact, and basically your beginnings on TikTok.
Yeah, man. See, I started, because TikTok came out 2019. I had an account. Back then, TikTok was just like a dance app. Like there wasn't there wasn't commentary. It wasn't like talking about movies. It was just people dancing. And it wasn't until maybe the pandemic that I started to really just make content on stuff that I liked. Like it was usually music, it was rap, it was, you know, might have been the Marvel movies, it might have been something I'd seen back in the day, it might have been history, like stuff that just really interested me. And it just kind of blew up from there, man. Like the first year I was on TikTok, or it might have been the second year, like during the pandemic, I probably had like 50,000. But then after that, like I kept on going, like got to 200,000, like, and of course, like that's a milestone, but none of that stuff really matters. To me, it was just like what I could share with people around me. And that was more important than anything else. So I mean, that's what I really care about. Just
anything
sharing ideas.
Anything encouraging you could say for Black creators on TikTok? Because I hear a lot of Black creators, myself included, having a hard time on that app. They feel like they get penalized more than other creators on that app. So
I would say don't rely on just TikTok. Like you got to have other streams of not necessarily income, but I feel like you have to have a connection with the people that follow you. Like it's a community, right? So of course, like if you see someone that you like, you should support them 100%, man. And I try my hardest to really support new musicians, new like short filmmakers, stuff like that. I follow them. I repost all the time. I try and get them engaged as much as possible. So like I feel like people should definitely focus on creating this network, this social network, instead of really focusing on, you know, the likes and everything, because there's going to be some disparities. Like there are algorithms that don't show our content as much as other people out there. So I think if you see somebody that you love watching, always support them with 100%. And you know, a person of color, you know, we're not going to get the same respect that others do. So you got to have that. You got to have a family behind you, and that's what the follower count is, man. Like it's your supporters. You got to give support back. So I think it's focus on your community, focus on creating content that, you know, people love, get people engaged, meet people in real life. That's kind of what I want to do within 2023. Like I want to meet 100 new people in real life, like not necessarily just online. I want to meet people in person, and I feel like that's more important than anything else. Like the social media hype and all that stuff is gonna die down, but I think you got to keep on moving, man. You got to continue to make content, and once you do that, you're gonna get recognized by someone. It may not be by who you think it is, but you're gonna get recognition from the people that enjoy watching you. So I feel like Black creators, whoever you are, man, like you should focus on your community, giving back to your community and contributing something to your community. So I feel like that's really important.
Words of wisdom from Just Huge, y'all. And where'd you come up with this this nickname? I was looking at your page. I saw that you put that you're official meat rider. And you have any context to that?
oh, film. I said film meat rider.
All right.
Film meat rider. Oh, slow down, sir. Slow down.
Pause.
Now I gotta say it. Pause. Now I gotta say it.
I read that. I said, all right, okay. Good for him.
But yeah, man, I think yeah, I'm a nerd, man. And I always like to break things down for their deeper meaning. And I like looking into, you know, actors and directors. And it's always been like that since I was a kid. Like, I remember being introduced to Ryan Coogler maybe when I was like, what, 15, 16 years. Yeah, 15, 16 years old, man. I knew like who he was. Like I saw Fruitvale Station. That was the first time I was introduced to Michael B. Jordan. That was the first time I was introduced to Ryan Coogler. And man, just from then on, like I just always had an interest in movies and film. Like it's just it's like a hobby, you know. For some people, they have, you know, basketball, and I like sports too. For some people, it's golf. Me, it's movies and entertainment, man. And I think there's beauty in, you know, art. So that's what really attracts me to it.
All right, let's switch gears real quick. Last night, this was like a presidential moment on Netflix. They had their first live comedy special with Chris Rock. I wanted to touch on that shortly. I personally enjoyed it. Me being a comedian, though, I understood the process of, you know, I look at comedy in 20-minute chunks, and that first 20 minutes I thought was really strong. The following 20 minutes, I felt like it was material he's still working out the kinks on. And then that last 20 minutes, he had that one in the chamber waiting at least since last year. That was polished.
Sure.
That last 20 minutes was like clean and polished. So I have to give it a B. I thought that was a great comedy.
You know what's funny, man? I was gonna give it kind of around there, like a B. I was gonna give it a B because he went at everybody. Like he went at everybody. And I see a lot of people saying, oh, Chris Rock is a minstrel. He likes to show out for a particular audience. And he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. Objectively, like if you look at his work, last night he made fun of Joe Biden. He made fun of Meghan Markle. He made fun of the Queen of England. He made fun of everybody, basically everybody, and especially himself and the people that are around him. So like I think we need to focus on obviously behind the scenes, like the relationship between Chris and Will, it's not that great. I understand that, but I feel like we need to focus on the deeper meaning, man. Like he just put out a special. Most of that special wasn't about Will Smith. It wasn't about Will Smith. Majority of that, 50 minutes of it was probably just him rambling about stuff in our culture. Like he was talking about selective outrage. He was talking about he said Meghan Markle, she was surprised like when her family was racist. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, this is the Queen of England. Like they literally invented imperialism. So like that was a joke that really kind of caught my eyes. Like, yeah, it's part of that is true, but it's also very funny. Like I think we're taking it a little bit too serious, but at the same time, I do understand Will and Chris do have this feud, and I think they're too old to be doing that. Like, I feel like you do have to move forward and kind of just leave that alone. So that's kind of my opinion on it. I did like the special majority of it. I did think some of the jokes were kind of like meh for me, but I thought it was pretty good.
I think he's back in his form. He's in samurai mode. He's not holding back, no punches, no nothing. He's just going for it. I think this was much better than the last couple of specials I've seen him do.
Yeah, better than Tambourine.
Yeah, Tambourine was cool. This was amazing. And the fact that it was live too added that impact of like, it added that energy of tension, you know, like anything could happen. Someone could throw a rock at him and it's all getting caught, you know, like everything, we're seeing everything. So I thought that was a masterful, genius idea from Netflix to do this live, or him. I don't know who thought of this idea of doing it live on Netflix, but it was genius. I think the topics that he touched on, showing the hypocrisy in everybody, was great. That was genius.
Yep.
So like, even
Selective
from the
outrage.
Queen, everybody, it's something everybody could walk away from. Unfortunately, everybody's walking away from the Will Smith stuff, and saying, "Oh, he should get over it by now." But this is the first time he's talked about it, so it's like, maybe this is him getting over it finally. Maybe they're good now. Maybe they're getting along better, but they still have to get it out, and this is his outlet to get it out, and he finally got it out, so he can move forward. You know what I mean?
Let me put some context to it. Like he filmed this in Baltimore, and Jada's home state. Called her a bitch. Called her husband a bitch.
Yeah, that's how he
felt. Right in front of friends and family. So
yeah,
he wanted to smoke.
Got it off his chest.
I get it, and he did get it off his chest. I do think part of me wants them to kind of resolve it. You know what I'm saying? Because like they're both successful men. They've made it out the hood, man. Like Will Smith made it out of his situation and became the biggest star on the planet. Chris Rock made it out of Brooklyn, became one of the biggest comics in the game. Like for me, to see two grown men like hash it out like this, I feel like it's a bit childish. But again, it has made it to this point. And Chris, if he wants to deal with it in his particular way, he can do it that way. So I mean, it's his opinion.
Yeah,
but Chris with me, like I'm not really tripping. Like for the most part, I'm mostly just focused on the material that he gave us.
Yeah,
and I thought it was decent. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was very well done. I like the way he ended it too. He was like, "Stop fighting in front of white people. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
take this in the back and talk it out." Like that's really what he was saying to me at the end. Coincidentally, I was watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air like earlier that day, and I was like, "Damn, Chris Rock went the furthest for this guy. He put on a leopard dress and a blonde wig for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode." You know, like he had love for this dude. Not everybody's just gonna do that, you know, on a show that's not your own show. And like, you know, Chris Rock pulled up and did that for Will Smith back in the day. So I don't know. When he said he loved Will Smith, like I really felt that part when he said that. You know, he had real love for him. So
I think it was a betrayal on Will's part when he got slapped. Because honestly, the joke wasn't that serious. It was like
he laughed.
It was a corny joke, and he chuckled at it. So
he laughed.
It wasn't until that look he got, and you know, he felt he needed. And now his career and image is always going to be tarnished because of that one moment.
Which is so sad. Which is so sad because he's so talented, man. And like me personally, I see right past that. Like it happened.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
it happened. We should move on. Like the only reason why people are talking, or the only reason why people are mad at Chris is because they kept talking about it. Chris has only talked about it a couple of times in public. this is the first time that the whole world gets to see Chris address that situation.
Exactly.
It was just one time. Like, everyone's making it seem like he's been talking about them for so long. He really hasn't. He just kind of let it go. He could have pressed charges, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it. He said something about your wife. I get that. But to me, I feel like, if anything, Will Smith really did take away from a lot of people at the Oscars that deserved it the most, man.
Yeah.
And I think he lost his cool, man. He lost his cool. And it happens. It happens. Sometimes you may lose your cool.
Isn't the Oscars this week? Isn't it coming up this week?
So it is this week.
It's coming out Tuesday on podcasting services. So yeah, it's coming out this Saturday, right?
Or actually Sunday, right?
Sunday. Very interesting.
So it's next week, yeah.
Something.
Marketing, you know what I'm saying? Like,
something's going on.
this was definitely manufactured. Like, he probably planned this years ago. Or I mean, a year ago, literally, like when that happened.
Months and months, yeah.
Yeah, so like, pretty clever.
I like I was saying, I like the way that they orchestrated this whole Netflix special. I like the way they had the comedians before talking and how they all were basically saying, "We stand with you, Chris." All the different comedians were like, "Go out there and kill. You about to kill it." Like, they've seen him prepping up this set. So like, you knew it was gonna come. So I just love the way Netflix did this. I hope we get more of it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I watched the replay after. Yeah.
Transition, folks. Letting go of your past is a good theme for Creed 3. Let's jump into the our review of Creed 3. We're gonna go spoiler free for about 20 minutes?
Maybe 10. We'll all just give her quick thoughts on what we thought of it.
We'll spoiler free for a while, and then we'll start, having some fun there. So just huge. I want to let the folks know your thoughts on Creed 3, spoiler free right now.
Man, Creed 3. Honestly, I feel like it's the perfect underdog story, man. It was beautiful. I loved it. I love the movie, man. And I think it's exciting to see that Michael B. Jordan, he took on that project and he made it his own. He basically made it his own, and he's able to tell the story about him and his character. And you got to respect it. You really do got to respect it. Now, I like this movie more than the previous one. Creed 2, I thought was really good. I think this one had better fights. I think the IMAX shots, all that stuff made this probably the most entertaining movie in the franchise. And I think Michael B. Jordan has definitely cemented himself as, a phenomenal director. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. It really does show his ability to tell stories. And it's kind of crazy that, he's come this far, because he's not new to this whatsoever. Like, he has been in the game for 15 plus years, damn near 20 years. When he was on The Wire, he was arguably like one of people's like favorites characters. Like, he was on FNL, Friday Night Lights. He was one of the favorite characters. Like, he's been working for this for quite some time, and it finally paid off. And I mean, he deserves it. He deserves all the love and respect, man. He made a good movie, man. He made a good movie, so you gotta love it.
That corny Negro made a good ass movie.
I'm saying, bro. And he bet on himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what I really love. Like, he was talking about it. I saw like an interview, and he was talking with it wasn't Drink Champs, it was somebody else. I believe it was Wallow. But he was basically saying, like, it took him 3 years to make the film. So it took him 3 years to, arrange the movie. He had people monitoring him, basically doubting that he couldn't do this. He had to really bet on himself and do his best to create a masterpiece. And I think that's what he did. And you got to love him for it, man. You really do.
Yeah.
Corny people, man, people that have a love for the arts, whatever it is, because he was probably a nerd. He was probably like us, man. Like, people that have an interest, people are going to hate you. They're not going to like you for being devoted to something. And Michael B. Jordan, I think the reason why he's getting the corny allegations is because he doesn't fit the mold of like your traditional masculine black man. And I think he's really breaking barriers. Him and Jonathan Majors are both breaking barriers, and he's really showing like that brotherly love that we need, man. Like we got to show love and respect to each other as men. So I feel like that's an important part of it. But to see that on the screen, that's even better. So yeah.
K to the C.
I had a real fun time with this movie. I thought the directing was done great. I saw little things that he did, like in Goodfellas, they used a steady one-shot cam. I like the way they did that in this movie also. He used a little bit of tricks and stuff from different movies. The anime stuff I noticed also.
Dude, man,
he did a
it was
great
so
job acting. I think him having Jonathan Majors was a genius move to make Michael B. Jordan step his game up as an actor. Because he did that in this movie to me. Like the little nuances, facial expressions that Jonathan Majors does, I could see he started taking those things on, and he was like watching the fight, and you could see him like, like he's not just, before he was just a guy to me who was like acting well, doing passionate things, but like he wasn't pushing the ceiling on the style of his acting. But in this, I felt like he's finally starting to come out with that stuff. And Jonathan Majors, as his opposite, brought that out of him to me. I thought the acting on this was great. The directing was great. The movie had a couple of things that I had issues with that makes me give it an 8 out of 10. A couple of choices they made. It played it a little too safe for me, but I still had a fun time with this. I highly recommend seeing this in IMAX if you can. If you see this at home too, it's great, but I would highly recommend seeing this in theaters.
So,
Akil, how you feel about the movie?
I went to the blackest theater I could find.
Yeah.
And I had a blast, man. I had some 40-something, plus black women
in
front of me. And they didn't care about Michael B this time. Every Jonathan Majors scene was, yes, Lord. Yes, Jesus. Lord have mercy. Every minute that man had his shirt off, there was a or yes, done. Lord. So that was my movie experience. It was that. It was like 40 plus, age range for the black women, and then like teenagers that were going, ooh, every punch shot.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So it was very entertaining. The fight scenes were impactful. Jonathan Majors, like his level of dedication to the acting, like when this character first shows up, like he has bags under his eyes, like he probably really kept himself awake to look like disheveled for that scene when he shows up, because he looks like he's fresh out the pen for real when he shows up in that scene. So I thought he was able to fully encapsulate that character, and I thought he did a great job. He stole the show the same way he stole the show with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium. So yeah, this to me became his movie, to the point where I was rooting for him, even though he was grimy. I was rooting for his character more than Michael B's character. So I fully enjoyed myself. There's a couple things, that they weren't bad. There's just, they could have did, some things differently. But I agree with your 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going back to that opening scene when Michael B. Jordan had the burger, the fries, the cheese, you know what I mean? Dude had steak and tomatoes. Like he was laser focused on keeping himself in shape, getting his protein, getting his veggies. Like I love the details that he put into his character of even having the California accent in there. Like I've never been to California. I don't know. I only know it from music and TV and stuff like that. But when I heard him talking, he was like, yeah, oh yeah. Like he added it in his accent. Like I could hear the California in him, that was dope. Like the amount of work he put into this character, I gotta applaud it, man. What he did with it, Jonathan Majors, kudos, man. He rose the bar on like the characters. Like his acting was way better. Even the way he was like, aloha, like those little like villainous knocks, like those little things, like what? Like just throwing people off their heels. His fighting style was unorthodox and amazing. The way he blocking like this and throwing the wild, weird shots, awkward shots. Even the towel that he came out with, like Mike Tyson, the whole Mike Tyson look that he had. Like he did his homework, man. That character just popped way more than anything else in this movie, just like Ant-Man. You just reminded me of that. Yeah.
Dude,
go ahead, guys. What's your
research?
Thoughts? Yeah. Yeah, he did the
research. Like I was actually, or my bad. Were you gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I was actually kind of just doing some research and really looking into like who they pulled from. And they pulled from just a bunch of fighters like you're saying, like the Mike Tysons.
Yeah.
That arm block thing that was actually done by George Foreman.
Mm.
So like that was like a really big thing that they pulled from. So like they as far as training and all that stuff, it looked real.
Yeah.
The shots were tighter. We were in the ring.
Yeah.
You could basically see sweat particles. Like the mix of IMAX and the storytelling, it really does make this movie like a spectacle, and you can't hate it at all. It was such a beautiful thing to see. It's such a good movie to watch.
My one gripe I have with this film, I hope this is not spoilers, but I felt like the brutality in this film wasn't as bad as the second film, because like I watched them back over again in order, and good lord, that second film, my guy was in ICU. He pissing blood, like each shot, like you see the damage on his face. I felt like he was just eating punches more. Each character was just
a little
punches.
Safe, right? It was a
they
little
were
safe.
eating punches more, and they weren't getting damaged realistically.
Yeah.
In the film, to me, I was like, come on now, like you just got punched right here. Like you should have a broken blood vessel. You should be like feeling it, but they're just eating punches like way too much. I was like, they want CTE, man.
Yeah, that was what. Yeah, this was for the ladies. They took Rocky from them guys, man. Rocky ain't for the guys no more. This is for the girls, man.
They gotta look cute. They gotta look cute, you know.
Yeah, two pretty boy pop stars boxing it out. This is for the ladies, man.
I was like, their faces are too pretty for these punches they're eating right now, man.
Exactly, bro.
But one thing I want to give kudos to also is the sound department in this movie when they were boxing and the round started.
It sounds so real.
It sounded so dope. Like you could hear. It sounded like Jonathan Majors was a gorilla pouncing forward. Like you could hear his footsteps moving forward, heavy
punches,
and then you could hear Michael B. Jordan's light, like Goku, like light work, like a panther. Like it felt like two animals were actually fighting in a cage. Like that's the sound quality of this movie was actually something that needed to be pointed out.
Oh yeah, dude, it sounded so real. Like the punches. If you look at like all the older Rocky movies, the sound it's if you compare it to this, like you see how it's evolved over time.
Yeah.
Like this was an actual fight. Like it really did feel like a real fight. The punches were legit. They really sold it. As far as like the acting and their fighting styles, they have their own styles that they relied on. Like you could tell that they were just going toe to toe.
Yeah,
they were really selling it, man.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
So let's give our final thoughts real quick before we start jumping into spoiler territory. I gave it an 8. Casey gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8 also.
I'm gonna say 8, man. 8.
Yeah.
Right.
I got a question. You guys don't know how to answer right now. This is for the viewers. This is for you guys if you want to answer during spoilers. He did such a great job with this movie, Michael B. Jordan. What movie or franchise would you like to see him do later in the future?
Maybe a superhero film.
Hey,
Static Shock.
Static Shock. He was supposed to play Superman also.
It.
Yeah, Val Zod.
So
that's still happening with this James Gunn timeline. I don't know what the hell's going on in DC anymore.
I don't know, man. I'd like to see Michael B. Jordan do some more action. So if he wants to do maybe like, because I know they were doing like the Rainbow Six movie or the Tom Clancy stuff that was supposed to come out. So if he's going to do more of that, I would like to see him team up with what's his name that does Jack Ryan, the white dude.
Tom Clancy?
No. The actor.
I know you're not talking about Tom Cruise, the Amazon show, the Amazon one, right?
The guy that was fantastic, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, he's supposed to be Mr. Fantastic. Man, I can't remember his name.
John Krasinski.
Dude from The Office.
Krasinski, Krasinski, man. Like if I could see like a team up or like something that's like a team up movie with like the Tom Clancy stuff, I want to see that, man. I want to see more collaborations, obviously with Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan in the future, because like they were talking about it, and I saw a lot of articles basically saying that they're going to be like the Al Pacino and the Robert De Niro, like they're going to have that type of relationship. So they're going to make movies that are basically going to be, on their characters. So
real quick, I feel like Jonathan Majors might be our generation's like newest character actor.
Probably, yeah. If I had to compare him to anybody, bro, I'm not comparing him to a Denzel. I'm not comparing him to a Samuel L. Jackson. He's new. There's nobody like him. He's so unique. he could play anybody if he wanted to, man. I feel like he has the range to do characters like you were saying. Like if he wanted to do Wonka, he could do that if he wanted to. Like he has that type of range, and he's able to switch it up. Like he's actually supposed to play Dennis Rodman. So like just imagine like what that would be like. He's gonna have to switch it up as far as his delivery. He's gonna have to change his mannerisms. I think he has that ability.
Yeah.
And actors like he reminds me of Depp. Like Johnny Depp has that range. He can switch and do multiple things. Johnny Depp can be a mobster. He can do comedy. Edward Scissorhands, like he can do all these characters. So if he wants to do characters that are that eccentric, man, he could do it. But at the same time, if he wants to kind of just stick to the script and play these heroes, I mean, very well, go ahead and do it, man. He was in Devotion, played Kang. Now he's doing this. That's 3 movies that have different characters, different personalities, and everything. And he's nailed every single one.
I gotta watch The Last Man in San Francisco. I heard he was great,
dude. It was amazing.
Oh, like, I've never seen that one. Let me put that on the list.
So that was actually one of the first A24 films I had ever even seen. That was back I think that was like 2019, something like that. And he was like one of the main actors in that movie. So that's when he really came up. He had like a couple other roles that were smaller. I think his first big acting role was with Christian Bale. Just really think about that. Like his first big break, was with Christian Bale. Yeah, that's a really big deal.
Now I remember him from the Four Bloods. He was in that movie, and like people didn't even realize
the Five Bloods.
The Five Bloods.
That was like my introduction to the character, to him as an actor.
Spike Lee.
Yeah,
and he was great. He was phenomenal in that one, man.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
He played like the son of Delroy Lindo.
Yep.
And like he just kind of had to come to terms with like his father being absent and everything, and like he had the perfect range for it, man.
Yeah, and it was a great introduction to him as an actor for me, because like the way they introduced him in the movie was like just showing his face on the boat moving forward, like that Spike Lee style, as if he's sitting on a chair and they're moving, pulling it forward, pulling him into the world. And then he just did his thing and he knocked it out the park. I was like, who the hell is this guy? And then boom, he's in this thing. Boom, he's in this, and he's knocking everything out the park. He's like kind of like the 50 Cent of movies, like he just came out and just banger after banger. That's the only person I could compare him to is like a 50 Cent, like because he's his own type of thing for actors to me.
And let me get a North Carolina shout out real quick. He went to school for his undergrad at UNC School of the Arts in Winston-Salem.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
So he was right down the road. Yeah, then he went to Yale for a master's, his master's degree in drama. So he was right down the road from me when I was in college.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, small world.
Small world, man.
Small world.
So he was killing it, bro. He's been killing it for quite some time. Like he's not a new face. I think people are just now being introduced to him through just like the movies and everything. But he's not a new face whatsoever. He could be one of the best actors ever. I think he's gonna get an award for sure.
Yeah. He's raising the bar on every movie he's in.
Spoiler time, guys. Let's switch gears.
Let's get into
about spoilers. His character Dame. I liked his motivations. It made sense. The scene, like when Drago showed up and he got attacked at the club, I automatically knew he had some type of type of schemery.
That was sketchy. I was like, that fast, bro. Like he had planned this for quite some time.
Yeah,
he had planned Drago breaking his wrist and stuff like that. And then when he was sparring with that young fighter, and he hit him in the shoulder, and then during the fight he hit him again. That was planned. Like he knew exactly where to attack him.
Yeah,
dude, he orchestrated all that, and then he got the title, and then he managed to do his research and become a fighter that defended his title. So like that was kind of crazy. But I love the fact that these characters had history. When Creed meets Dame, he's very impressionable. And he's this young kid that looks up to his older, basically a brother. He was a brother to him.
Yeah, it was all he had. That was the only person he had in his life that he could.
Yeah, but of course, that relationship is severed when he pulls out a gun. He beats up Leon, or actually, it was Creed who beat up Leon. It was Adonis who did it.
Pulling so, the gun was
Yeah, pulling the. I'm saying, and he escalated it to something new.
Yeah.
So like now you got Dame who took an assault charge for Creed.
18 years for pulling out the gun and whooping somebody's ass.
What state is
I'm
this?
saying,
I
which
was
is
like,
Manhattan?
wild,
Where is he?
bro.
Manhattan?
dude, that must have been his third strike, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
At 17 years old.
Gosh.
I'm
I
saying,
was like 18.
Oh, was he even 18? Was he 18?
that boy was bad as hell, man.
They said
Yeah,
he
he
was
was a wild
older.
boy.
I'm saying,
He was ripping and running. What the fuck?
I was like,
Where
what
do you have time
doing,
to practice
bro?
boxing?
18 years, because he said he got some time added, so maybe he got 7, but he got another 7 while he was in jail. I don't know, man.
Maybe he fought him or something.
Like something they
maybe
added
he was shanking people in jail. Like, you never know.
The math ain't mathing over
Yeah,
there,
that's
bro.
one of the shaky things I had with the story.
I was like,
that I let slide, you know. But even like when they're growing up, Michael B could have been like, "Yo, why'd you pull the gun though? Like, we were good. You didn't have to pull the gun."
The resolution of the film is basically he gets his ass beat, and they're like, "Bro, I was tripping, bro. I really was tripping. Yeah, you was." The end. That was the resolution, man. You just gotta. Sometimes you gotta get punched in the nose so you could like take in reality.
Another gripe I had was Tessa Thompson's character, which had an amazing story in it, but they didn't do enough with it. He was boxing in jail. That's hilarious. He
sure was.
Shout out to Camara. Shout out.
He was fighting for his life.
But she was like,
people off them cheeks.
She was like, violence isn't the answer. Violence isn't the answer. And then like the daughter started fighting. Violence, we can't let her see that violence is the answer. And
violence is the answer.
And then like, you know what you gotta do, right? Violence. I'm like, wait a minute, what? What happened, Tessa?
Violence is the answer.
You took a left. Yeah. There's a lot of things I saw in this movie that I enjoyed. I like the way Michael B put his boy on, like illegally through the whole fighting like organization. And I like the way he been wanting to fight him because he was like, yeah, no, you go ahead, you fight this guy, we got him. He's gonna be a good contender, but you fight him. Then while he was fighting him, Michael B was just watching him how he fights. He was like, yeah, okay, that's what you do, huh? You're a dirty fighter. He's like, oh, okay, no, you can't do that. Like he was watching everything that Dame was doing in the ring to learn his fighting style, just in case he has to defeat him. Like it's like a warrior's fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's not about the money, it's not about the fame. It's about which one of these two is the alpha male. You know? So I thought that was dope.
I will say I wanted to see more of Dame fighting, like more of the brutality. Like after he won that belt, I wanted to see him like take out 2 or 3 other people.
Me
like,
too.
This guy's unstoppable. Nobody can. And
shit.
then Creed has to come in and step up. But like I thought the movie's pacing was a little too fast,
dude.
Because it was
way
good.
Too fast.
Way too fast.
Good.
I went from round 3 to round 11. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, what? We just got here.
Mind you, the movie's only 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
But it feels so fast.
Yeah.
Because you get into the final match within maybe the second half of the movie, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's like right at the half mark where they start preparing for the fight and everything. And man, it seems like they kind of just maybe, I'm not gonna say they rushed into it, but maybe they cut a little bit out of it because they did some reshoots and everything like that. But like maybe there was a big chunk that they just left out and they just wanted to just focus on the actual plot of the movie. And it was 2 brothers fighting each other. So, I mean, they got to the point really quick, but it was worth it. It was worth it, and I
don't want to
really
Monday morning coach it, but like there are things that I felt like could have been done in different spots of the movie, and things that could have been taken out. Like the beginning opening match should have felt like it was like a big final big match where Michael B. Jordan's character gets out of there by the skin of his teeth, like he's banged up at the end. Pay homage to the old Rockies when Rocky had the shakes. Because they talk about it in this movie. They're like, you got broken rib. They just fly by it though in the movie, like broken rib. They shattered this and that, and it shows it when it happens. You know what I mean? And back in the older movies, you rolled your ankle once in grade 12. You see him roll his ankle real quick. You know what I mean? Like they did it like that. But if it was right after that fight, and they're like, "Yo, you just got out of this. I think you should retire." And he's like, "Oh, I'm still good, coach, man. I'm still good." And it's like, "Nah, I think you're done, man." Like and then they go off, and he has to watch vicariously his boy come out of jail, shit on him, and running through different people. And we're seeing these other matches where it's like, holy, this guy is mad. So then throw in your guy to fight him, and then he beats your
Basically,
guy,
yeah.
and it's like, oh shit.
Ooh,
And it would have
dude.
been like, okay. And then we see Michael B. Jordan trying to train to come back, and he can't get it. And then he gets that moment where it goes ding, and we get the J. Cole song, you know, the bells, and then his mind when his mind
Dude,
clicks.
that montage.
That would have hit so much harder if we seen him fall first and then rise back
For
up.
sure.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like Batman Rises, he couldn't climb up that thing. He was trying. You saw him falling and failing, and then later his mindset clicks, and he's like, "Okay." And then we see the rise, and we're like, "Ooh," you know. But in this, it happened so fast. It was like, "Wait, oh damn, that was the moment." You know what I mean?
But
like, is that J. Cole rapping? Oh, that sounds
I will
good.
say this. I don't know if you remember this, but there was that scene where Drago comes in.
Yeah.
Victor Drago comes in.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, man, like basically just like sparring with him.
Yeah.
He was sparring with him. So like that really did put him through the gulag because I mean, if you really think about it, he's a formidable opponent. Like he was the guy to beat.
Yeah.
And he's a big guy too. So I think that was kind of along those lines.
Yeah, no, but yeah, they had the moments. I think they just placed it like in the wrong places to make it as impactful as possible. It was impactful, but it wasn't like, ooh, you know, like impactful. You know what I mean?
It definitely wasn't like epic or anything. It was kind of just, it is what it was.
Yeah, I also think the abuse and diving into that was enough. I don't think they had to murder another black mother on screen. I was like, and then it just fell flat for nothing. I was just watching it like, yo, like they just told us she has an issue. She had a stroke in this movie. And then they just get into it in the second half of this movie. Like, and then right after she dies at the funeral, he just starts talking about the abuse that he went through with his boy growing up. So I was like, they could have just, you know, gave us a flashback, just dove into the abuse. They didn't have to give us
They could have started with that. They could have started with that if you really think about it.
They could have started with the abuse. They could have really, like, that is a messed up thing, a really dark thing that happens in our culture, in all cultures, abuse of children and taking advantage of children. They could have really dove into that more and paralleled it and, you know, like talk to kids. Like this could have been something that kids see and they're like, holy, you know, like that they are going through. But they just kind of went over it like, oh yeah, I went through abuse. It was like, okay, yo, it's messed up. Like, they could have done more. They didn't have to murder somebody to try to put in this whole more feeling. I don't know. That's how I felt about that.
You guys, what I felt like Dame was giving Kimbo Slice vibes, like a Cinderella story fresh out of the pen, Street Fighter. Even though he's
Rocky,
really
it's Rocky.
Yeah, I know, but his character, like, it reminded me of like a Kimbo Slice.
I feel you. Yeah, the underdog. Yeah,
underdog. So I like that. I just wanted to see more of him fighting and more of the brutality that came with his character.
Kimbo Slice was breaking faces in Miami though.
In backyards.
Yeah, he was busting. He was security. The story's not exactly the same, but I know what you're saying. Kimbo Slice was like, millions of people were like, "Yo, this guy on YouTube needs to be in the UFC." Like he was like, it would have been cool if they gave him that type of situation. Where like, "Yo, this guy in jail is just beating people and he's out." Yo, we got to see him. Like, have you seen his YouTubes in jail? You know, like, man, that would have been a great energy.
Yeah, that's like, we
need to see this guy. And everyone is like, yo, Dame, like the whole world. So they're like, yo, if we don't put this guy on in the boxing match, it's going to be a loss of money. Like, that would have been a great, I see what you're saying, but that would have been
an angle I thought they would have took.
Yeah, if they took the Kimbo Slice thing for real, though. But yeah. Anything else you guys want to add?
Dude, did y'all catch how like shady? I mean, we already talked about this, but like how clever and shady Dame was, because not only does he want to fight his friend, he gets the guy that Adonis assaulted to be his trainer. So like Leon, you guys remember when Leon was like his head trainer and he was on the ropes and he had him in the ring?
Yeah,
I felt like that was really interesting. Like it definitely kind of added more to, you know, Adonis's trauma and his inner psyche. So I feel like that was an interesting power play on Dame's character's side. So I felt like that was very interesting to his character.
It was dope, but I think the film could have done more to make that an isolated situation where like we see Creed eye contact with Leon and it's like, you know, like,
yeah,
like, oh,
I feel you. They definitely didn't.
You cracking his knuckles like, "What up, son? I know your mistakes." You know, it's like, "Oh my god, he got that guy." the abuser, you know, like
For sure.
yeah.
For sure. They could
But
have
they
made that a
didn't, so
bigger
it didn't
deal.
pop for me when I saw it. I was like, oh, it's that guy. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I caught it instantly. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, like that's pretty smart.
Who's
You know
that
what you're
girl
doing.
Dame had in that bed though, man? That
On the
scene where he
couch?
called up, yeah. I was
I
like,
don't
where'd
know.
Dame find that at?
Dave's doing pull-ups on the stairs. I was like, oh, this guy's in rare form right now. He's feeling good.
My
Bro.
other complaint, let me get this off my chest real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I felt like Rocky should have at least called him, because when Dame was on TV talking shit, I felt like Rocky should have gave like Adonis at least a phone call, like, "Hey champ, you see what's going on TV?" Like Rocky's not that out of the loop where he wouldn't at least call Adonis.
Yeah,
could have at least been at least one phone call.
Yeah, I think they're important. They're wanting for this to be Adonis's own movie so bad, and you know the beef that happened outside of the movie. But they're that wanting to make this his own story made it like we can't have anything with Rocky at all. Which I agree with you, man. It's at its own fault. Like he could have been the person that he saw a picture of and he just snapped back, you know, like something,
or at least
something.
a voicemail, like you see a missed call from Rocky on the phone.
Hey, yo, this is Rocco. Well, let them talk shit about you, man. It's part of the game, baby. Just stay cool, you know.
Just all that. That's all they needed. He didn't have to be in the film. Like that would have been good enough for me.
Yeah.
They act like he
really
didn't exist at all.
It's a standalone.
It's a standalone, yeah. It's heartbreaking that it didn't work out the way it did. But it's like, could Rocky would they have killed Rocky if he was in this?
Man, they killing people for no reason, man.
Yeah, like
daughter better watch out next movie.
Yeah, the daughter with the you better watch out.
Or watch out.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about this movie's whole franchise? Do you feel promising about what's coming next? Do you feel like, okay, this is the end and that's it? I felt like this was a good closing to this trilogy.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I feel like it was the movie had a lot going on in it that they didn't get into, which makes me feel like they're going to make more movies out of this stuff.
Yeah. It's MGM, man. They're trying to milk out all their franchises, and they actually they brought back another franchise apparently, and apparently Jake Gyllenhaal is supposed to be like a UFC fighter.
Yeah,
there's like it's a Roadhouse reboot. So like I don't see MGM stopping. I mean, the Rockies, you can cash in on them. People like Creed. People like Michael B. Jordan. Mm-hmm. If he wants to do it again and get some more cash, I mean, why not? But part of me is like, this would be the perfect close, man. This would be the perfect close. And it also opened doors for you to do something else. So I think I would rather see something else from Michael B. Jordan than see another Creed, but I'm not against it. So that's kind of my
I want to see a Dame movie. I want to see Dame just be grimy and just, you know, continue the box because he's straight now. He made his name for himself and he can continue to get fights. So I want to see what's next for his character.
More showers in the sink. More showers in the sink. He's looking at himself in the shower.
You know he got PTSD, man. It's been 18 years.
Drago's supposed to get one, right? Drago's supposed to be getting a movie.
Yeah, I heard Drago's getting one. I heard that young Hispanic fighter. I heard he's supposed to get one. They're trying to build a story off of that. Yeah, I heard So I heard they're supposed to do something with that. But yeah, they're trying to kick off this universe. They're trying to milk this franchise. And if they have a story to tell, I'll be there for it.
Yeah.
But if there's nothing to really do for me, I'm not really going to be interested in it. Mm-hmm. Just because you're just trying to drop movies just to drop them. And there's not really a story for them to even make. So it just really wouldn't make sense for me to even see it. So
what if this just devolves into eye candy for women? Like guys getting punched and going, oh, like posing and shit. Because I could see that happening because they weren't getting hurt in this film, man.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, the lady, they got Magic Mike, man. Let us have one thing, man. Let us have one thing. Come on.
The most brutal scene was the mouthpiece scene when he pulled out the mouthpiece and he spit the tooth out. I was like, my God, that was good. But other than that, they were eating too many punches, man. Y'all want CTE. Y'all trying to get that CTE for real.
Dude, they should have been on the floor. Both of them.
Like duck, do something.
He's Rocky. Like, Rocky has no defense. The Rocky movies, they're just that's always been Rocky. I'm not gonna let you guys get this.
Dude. Rocky's a crazy concept because he would fight I made a video about this, but like Rocky would fight some of the best fighters with like
Wrestlers.
40 plus wins, wrestlers. Like he fought Hulk Hogan,
Yeah.
and apparently it was a draw. He fought Clubber Lang, beat him. Clubber Lang had like 35 plus wins. He's a massive dude, I believe he's like 6'4" or 6'2" and like 230. Like that's a really big mismatch if you really think about it. Like Rocky's probably what 190, but he takes
5'6".
punches. Yeah, dude, 5'7" or something. I think he might be like 5'6".
Yeah, he's my height,
like
man. He's 5'7".
But he's undefeated, man. He's undefeated. You beat the best fighter in the world, Creed. You beat Clubber Lang. You beat a super soldier, Ivan Drago. Like that's crazy.
On all the
that's
steroids.
Crazy. 260. A guy's 260, 6'5". Come on, bro. Like Rocky's a superhero.
My other question, guys, is I saw the success of Creed and how financially stable he is. Why is he doing so well and Rocky's so broke? Like, did Rocky squander his money?
No,
because Creed's doing great.
I think Rocky's good, man.
Rocky did fine. He wasn't doing fine in Creed 1. He had the restaurant. He had cancer. His son didn't want shit to do with him.
No, he just didn't spend his money like
he don't live that lifestyle.
He's just he's never been that guy. Like he's just from the first Rocky, he's just a regular dude. He's as regular as it gets. That's why so much people.
Creed's a multi-millionaire. Like
but Creed
got Gucci ads and stuff like that.
Yeah, but look where Creed when Creed came up, he came up with the wife. Remember rich in L.A. And then he went to
Marianne Creed.
Yeah, he came from mansions and all. That's his lifestyle. Like that, they're two. That's two different core elements that are different about them for sure.
Rocky out here eating TV dinners.
Doing fine. Rocky's Rocky, man. That's him.
He does not care.
Creed got the Jordan jumpsuit with the Jordans on. Rocky's going with like Zellers or Walmart joggers. You know what I mean? Just the gray joggers. Dude,
that's too funny.
Like he's just, they're just different with the way they spending their money. That's all.
I just feel like Rocky always just, one paycheck away from losing it, man. That's the other. Watch Creed 1 over,
real
man.
Money right there. That's real money.
Watch Creed 1 over, man. Like Rocky looked like, hey, man, this is what I got. I got my restaurant, and that's it, man. That's it.
I guess so.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
But let's wrap this up. Just huge. Yeah, let people know where they can reach you.
Just huge net. You can reach me on all platforms. Same name. I definitely have a link tree, so I can put it in the chat.
All right.
Yeah, you can pretty much reach me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok is mostly what I use. But that's where you can find me.
I also felt like there was a missed opportunity for like a Viagra commercial. The moment when he got down, like he got knocked down, he's like, "Get up, D! Get up now, D!" Perfect opportunity for a Blue Chew ad right there.
Blue Chew, I'm done.
Blue Chew, get up, D! That was a perfect opportunity, right?
Get up, D.
Get up, D, with Blue Chew. Any movies coming out that you guys are excited for? I'm seeing Shazam 2.
John Wick. There's too many movies. There's way too many movies coming out because of COVID. Damn.
Yeah.
How many movies we're getting?
Shazam,
we're getting a bunch. Yeah, we're getting a lot in this couple of months. It's going to be very interesting to see what's going to be the blockbuster film of the summer because we got Fast and the Furious coming. We got the Shazams, the comic book movies. We got the A24 movies. We got a whole lot of movies coming out. Too many to name.
Oh, yeah, bro.
I got to put the ski mask on and sneak in that theater, Can't be paying for all these.
Yeah. I miss the COVID days, man, of HBO Max. They just drop it on there.
Yeah.
Man, I miss it.
It's convenient. It's convenient, man.
Yeah,
it's cheaper too.
I wouldn't mind spending $20 to stay home and watch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So this is the Back and Now podcast. As usual, you could reach us online at _Back and Now. That's BACCHANAL. I'm on TikTok as _Back and Now. Casey's on there as well. What's your?
I am K to the Back Analyst.
All right.
Find me on TikTok, killing it.
We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We have a private Facebook group because we're ignorant. So send an invite to the Back and Now fan page.
Yes.
We'll go ahead and bring you in there, and you could join all the debauchery going on in there. Feel free to send us an email at thebackandnowsquad@gmail.com. And as usual, we're here every other week, so bi-weekly.
Yeah.
On YouTube, and then we drop episodes every other Tuesday. So
right.
as usual, it's the Back Now Podcast. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Just Huge, for being our guest this week.
Yes.
You are welcome anytime. I appreciate
it.
you. And thank you for sharing your time with us.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I appreciate that.
All right, really everybody. Do. You guys have a safe weekend. Peace.
Peace.